Welcome to Watching the Horizon. I'm Jake. In this video, I'm going to talk about one of the most surefire ways I can think of to get you killed in an SHTF or WROL situation. In the prepping community, there seems to be this idea that you can stock up, bunker down, and ride out whatever comes your way, only sticking your head up every once in a while just to see if human civilization has returned. Well, I think if you were only ever worried about natural disasters like a hurricane or a tornado, drought or something like that, anything short term, sure, yeah, I agree. I think you could totally get away with that. What about longer term things? If that's all you're worried about is just the short term, then this video isn't really for you. But if you're prepping for something a little bit more substantial, like civil war, nuclear war, complete financial collapse of the dollar, EMP, an embargo against the US, or peak oil, or even invasion, these things aren't going to be over in a couple of weeks. This is the kind of thing that's going to really kind of string on, and it's really going to kind of mess up our day to day. So if your plan is to go off lone wolf style or bunker down and just wait till the threat is over, I put to you that it cannot be done. I mean, you need resources, you need supplies, you need information. And without these things, you're not going to last long. I mean, you can't even do that now in time of peace. I mean, maybe the most experienced, bushcrafters or survivalists, maybe, special forces that do this kind of thing for a living. They could probably go out, into the wilderness and they could probably make a living or survive, basically. But even then, they're going to need to stock up. They're going to need supplies. If nothing else, they're going to need medical after a while. I mean, it's just normal. But if you can't even do that during a time of peace, what about when, havoc has been wreaked, in the population? You've got starving masses, or you've got, martial law or something like that. I mean, what are you going to do then? Even those highly trained individuals, if that is their plan, long term, you're going to need a community. And if they don't, one of two things is going to happen. They're either going to end up turning bandit, and they're going to end up preying on other communities, which eventually that community will organize even tighter, and then they will either hunt you down and kill you, or you will die due to lack of resources because you've been thwarted. Or you're going to end up creating your own group, or you're going to go join another group. So the whole idea of prepping is so that you can be in control of what happens to you. Do it now in a time of peace so that you don't find yourself kind of drifting in the wind and going in a direction that you didn't want to go, or end up being taken advantage of, or simply killed just at the whim of somebody else. Communities are going to naturally form. All faces of human nature are going to come out during that time, both good and evil. So I think that if you can get ahead of the curve, prep for this. Are you storing food? Are you storing water? Are you storing ammunition? You need to also become part of a community or start your own. Now, I do believe that, going out and revealing all of the intimate details of your preps, with your group, not necessarily a good idea. And that's not what I'm advocating here. But I am talking about you, becoming part of something larger than yourself. One man can't simply go up into the hills and hide. You will be found. People will get hungry, babies will cry, and they will go out looking for resources, and you will eventually be found. How many are you? Maybe it's just your family. Maybe it's you, and maybe you've got some adult kids. Maybe 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not enough. You cannot successfully both provide security to your property while simultaneously feed yourself for the long term. You just can't do it. There's just, you don't have enough manpower. Eventually, you will be found and you will be put under siege by other lone wolves, or maybe even by other opportunistic groups, who see that you have resources and they're just going to take them from you. Maybe they'll try to be nice in the beginning and try to, have you join their group. But no matter what, any determined individual or group that finds you, you're out of luck. And how well can you really hide? And again, I put to you that you can't, unless you're always on the move. But then what kind of life is that? And even if you were always on the move, true lone wolf style, out there living off the land, eating wild edibles, and maybe it's just you don't have anybody else to worry about. Again, maybe you'll last longer than most if you're trained and you have practice. But still, eventually, you're going to need supplies. You're going to need to go out. You're going to need to either barter or trade or steal or something, because you just can't last indefinitely that way. Especially if you look back at the Great Depression, where people were starving. If your plan is to just go out and hunt for food and eat wild edibles all day long, we practically hunted deer into extinction during that time. You couldn't hunt. It was practically impossible. If you got a rabbit, it was a huge deal. It's just very scarce. So really the only option available to you, if that's sort of your idea, is you're going to have to grow food. But in order to grow food, you can't be nomadic and grow food very easily. Maybe you'll find a way and you'll prove me wrong. Good for you. But I think that you're going to end up needing to interact with others. You're going to have to go out. You're going to have to barter and trade. But the bigger problem here is now you're being forced to interact with strangers. You don't know what their situation is. You don't necessarily know who they are or where they're coming from or what their needs are. Now, if you were part of a group, you could trade with other members of that group. You could know that, the Johnsons over here, they need help, with the farming. And either you could provide labor in exchange for food, and then in turn, they could provide you with necessities. Maybe, maybe they make butter or soap or, something else that you can't do because you're busy, dedicating your time to something else. It's okay to be part of a group. It's okay to have specialists within that group so that you can all help each other. If you think that one man can stand alone, or even a single family can stand alone when times really get hard without having the support of some kind of community to back them up, I put to you that you are mistaken, and you will realize it in probably the most horrific of ways. So go out there and start a group or join one. And it doesn't have to be a group for the purpose of prepping. Take an existing group, maybe your church group. Are there other individuals at your church that, you get along with, and you're thinking, hey, maybe you can kind of talk to them about just the idea of just being prepared. Maybe you've got a hobby club. Maybe you go out and do, RC model planes or something like that. Well, these are individuals with whom you're friends, presumably. Well, you know who they are. You know how trustworthy they are. I mean, if they're trustworthy, if you think that this particular group of people can be one that, you could get along with, that, maybe you could mold and fashion into a group of individuals that not only are you friends and can trust now, but you'll be able to also do so, when times are tough and resources are limited. If you don't have those, then you're going to have to reach out. It might start with the internet. Maybe you'll go to like meetup.com or something like that, or you'll go to one of the many prepper websites and see if you can find a group that way. I've got mixed feelings about those, but a good time to do it is now, so you can at the very least kind of explore and see who's out there. Maybe you'll get lucky. Maybe it's like dating. I haven't explored that route, in particular, but maybe it's like Match.com or eHarmony or something like that. Maybe you got to cycle through a lot of them before you find a group, or at least some individuals that you can click with. If you've had success, utilizing those resources online, to find a group, I'd love to hear about it. I mean, seriously, I'd like to know. I have just a few individuals where I'm living now. I'm new to the area, and they don't know me very well, and I don't know them very well. But we're of a like mind. We have a lot of the same beliefs, and so we have the beginnings of a foundation of friendship and an idea as far as the whole prepping thing goes. But I mean, we're far from this well-oiled, cohesive group. But it's something that you need to manage. You need to be a part of that. And if you think that you're just going to go out there and be lone wolf, or if you're just going to bunker down, I don't think you're going to last very long. So at the very least, give it a try. If you know some resources, or you can tell me something that worked for you, I'd love to hear it. So anyway, thanks for watching. Keep your eyes open.